Welcome to your core connection practice today. You won't need any props, just your amazing self. And you're going to go ahead and start by coming to your side and then laying onto your back. Take the arms out wide and out to a T, and you'll keep your knees bent and the feet down into the earth. We'll start by dropping the knees to the right and then closing your top left arm over the right like a sandwich. Good. Now keep the knees stacked, keep the hips stacked. And when you're ready, you're going to open your top left arm back out along the floor. So big breath in, across the front of the chest, the ribs. And then on your exhale, you'll thread that top arm back onto the bottom. Let's take that a few more times. So you inhale, open, and then it's just like a wave coming right back on top of the bottom arm. Good. One more time, opening up, breath in. And gentle engagement of the belly as you exhale, rotate back. Go ahead and now turn all the way onto your back and then to the other side. So your bottom left arm will be down, right arm's on top, knees are stacked. And when you're ready, you can open your right arm out to the side and then closing that top arm back along. Make sure that when you are opening that the rotation is really coming from that thoracic spine. So your mid and upper back, not so much from the lumbar spine, your low back. Good. Opening up here. And then exhale, closing back down along the side. And you'll return again back down onto your back. Hands behind the head, and this is a neck strengthening exercise. So when you're ready, you're going to be lifting the chin up towards the ceiling on your exhale. So the gaze is just straight up towards the ceiling. Make sure you're not gazing towards your thighs and turning this into a crunch move. You still get some abdominal work here. You want to feel like the ribs hug down as you lift the chin. And then relax the head and bring the feet together for your knee drops. So the arms are out to a T, and we can open left leg to the side to center, and then right leg opens. Exhale, squeeze through to center. So this movement helps initiate inner thigh, pelvic floor, and then low abdominal engagement, as well as your external obliques. Really nice. Let's go here again, over to the left. Exhale, center. And then we'll move on into another variation. So the right leg will lift, extend out, and then rebend and tap down. Left leg lifts, extends out, bend, and tap down. So we'll continue alternating from side to side, and we get this extension through the back of the body. We have a little bit of abdominal engagement as you extend the leg away before you tap the foot down. And keeping a nice strong point to the toes is going to help release from the hip down. So those tight hips that happen when you're sitting for long periods of time, bottle feeding, nursing, whatever it is, reading bedtime stories. Really nice. All right. So from here, we're going to be adding in another variation. So we'll go ahead and extend the right leg out. And then start by drawing some like medium circles before you switch left leg. And we'll do a couple circles. Yes, good. And then switch. So do right leg out long, circle 1, 2, and tap it back. Left leg out long, big circle 1, 2, and tap it back. Let's go again onto the right side. Making sure that when you're taking that circular movement with the leg, that the opposite leg and hip isn't swiveling all over the place. So working on some stability through the pelvis. Really nice. And again onto the left side. Okay, so again, we're going to go one more on each side. And last one here. Beautiful. Now the right leg will extend, left leg lifts as well, and the arms up over the chest and shoulders. So our reverse marching, we're going to be taking heel taps down towards the ground. If extending the arms up over the chest, if you start to feel like this is not supportive enough, just keep the arms to the side. That's a great modification. Make sure that the low back is compressed towards the earth so we feel safe and that we're not over pulling from those low back muscles. We want to feel that abdominal muscles and our hip flexors are really what's supporting us in this movement. Good. A few more times here. And then arms up overhead. Arms are only what's going to be working here. So as you pull the arms back over the chest and shoulders, I want you to feel like you're drawing your ribs down towards the belly button. So you still get this abdominal firing. Starting to create some mobility, some awareness of just what's going on through the back of the shoulders, through the chest. Good. Now pause and let's alternate an arm back and the opposite leg down. So this is a variation of our exercise called a dead bug, which isn't that super sexy, but they are so effective. You want to make sure again that your core is ready for this though. So if you start to feel like your low back really is pulling away from the ground, or there's any pain or discomfort, I want you just to hold those legs in a tabletop rather than moving arms and legs together. Good. Hug the knees into the chest and then relax your feet back down. We'll go ahead and roll onto our side, and you'll start with the belly engaging, knees are stacked. And then opening up that top leg, the foot is flexed. And we're going to do pointing forward, sweeping back, and then tap it back behind, center. So we go forward, center, behind, and center. Now that tap back with your foot is really tricky to not overly arch through the low back. So that's what our focus is try to keep the length from the spine, try to keep those hips stacked as you're moving your top leg front to back. Good. And your head can be supported just like I'm doing, or you can also bring your head onto a pillow or even just onto your bicep. Works just fine as well. Really good. Let's go here with now big movements of these up and down. So pointing as we lift and flex to lower. I have my bottom knee bent for a little bit more support. Now, if you wanted an additional challenge, you would extend that bottom leg long, which is more of that traditional Pilates exercise that you would see. Excellent. All right, now we're going to flex through the heel, give little pulses, little kicks up. You know, our good booty and outer hip and thigh burner. This is such a good one just to start to feel more strength, more connection through your seat. Yes, we're still working those abdominals, absolutely. Stay steady with your breath and then point and take little circles. All right, now you've had your leg held up here for a while. So this is going to be a lot for the hip. You might feel a lot through your seat, through your glute, but you better believe that your core is also working together with that area of the body. So if you need to take a pause, but then come back to it when you're ready. Yes, reverse the direction and then relax. Nice job. Bang it out, break up some of that tension. Gently pressing yourself up and onto your belly. So we'll start where the forearms are in front of the forehead. And this is a nice way just to get a little bit of the upper chest. So breasts aren't getting smushed if they're a little bit tender. You're going to be bending the knees and drawing the legs towards one another in like a diamond position. And then down. So it's an exhale, kick, kick, inhale, release. Exhale, kick, kick, inhale, release. This is a great movement to strengthen some back of the body, so your hamstrings, your seat, and your low back, but make sure you keep your belly active so then your low back isn't just taking all of the exertion. All right, so now pressing yourself up onto your forearms, chest is lifted, palms down onto the ground. We're going to take single leg kicks now. So it's a kick, kick, and lower. Lift, kick, kick, and lower. Noticing what's different between your left versus your right side, if anything. If nothing's different, that's great, no problem. If you notice more tension or more pain, it's not always like meaning the worst thing in the world is happening. We definitely have imbalances in the body. We're not the most symmetrical people, and that's okay. That's okay. Now I'm scooching myself more forward so I can have my hands onto the ground. And I'm going to be lifting opposite arm and leg. So my forehead's down onto the earth, and I lift right leg and left arm. Good. And then left leg, right arm. Again, make sure that your belly's engaged. And if you want to take some of the tension off of your chest, some of that pressure, you can lift your head a little bit here too, just as I'm demonstrating. Nice. Let's go here. A few more. Really good. Almost there. And then hands back underneath the shoulders. Push onto your knees for a counter stretch. Take your wide knee child's pose. So knees go to the edges of the mat. Your seat comes all the way down towards your heels. Like really ground yourself through the lower half of the body. And your forehead can just be heavy down into the earth as well. Big breath in. And then on your exhale, you can rise up. And we'll go ahead and do that same sideline work on the other side. So either head supported into our head being supported into our hand, or your head down onto your bicep also works. Extending the top leg out, we're going to point forward, center, back, and center. Forward, center, back, and center. So just a reminder, make sure that especially when you're taking the leg behind you, that you're not arching through your back, that you're not swiveling through the torso to get that engagement. It doesn't have to be a huge sweep behind the body, all right? And you're using effort, front body and back body connection here. So lengthening from quad all the way down to the front of the foot, as well as getting some good contraction from your glutes all the way down to the calves and heel. Really nice. All right, now we'll hold and we lift and lower. So we point to lift and then flex and lower the leg down. Keeping those hips relatively stacked, okay? So you want to make sure that you're not rolling open your top hip to where then you're pulling from the low back, but we're really strengthening through the outer hip and thigh. An option to lower the head, just as I've demonstrated, if that feels good for you. Good. Last one here. Now hold the leg, flex your foot, and then as you point through the toes, you're going to give little circles. Good. So we'll do the circles one direction several times. And remember, obviously your leg has been held here for a while. So if you feel like this, causes some discomfort, like good burn pain, that's okay. Pain where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not breathing, I'm holding my breath, this doesn't feel good, it's causing more tension, then you pause, mama. You want to take those pauses when you need it. Good. We flex through the foot, little kicks up. So we just kind of reversed it on this side, but that's not a prob. We're still going to get that good effort on both sides of the body. Flexing through the foot, little kicks, little kicks. Yes. Find the control. Make sure you're not wildly flailing. I would never suspect such a thing, but just a helpful reminder. And you can bang out some of that pressure and tension if it was starting to feel like a lot there. Good. Press yourself up. And once you go ahead and come back up into your forearms, we're going to be lifting the legs. So this is some deeper abdominal work here. The right leg extends. We lower, circle out, and keeping those circles going. Now, when we are working into movement through the hip, you might feel like, oh, this is just a hip movement, right? No, ma'am. Everything's working together still. You have control through those external obliques. And then we're pausing here and just doing a point and flex through the foot as well. But I just want to emphasize just how everything in your body is supporting another piece. Okay, so don't think this is just a hip movement. This is definitely core work, as I'm sure you can feel. Now we'll switch to the other side. We're going to take some big hip circles, single leg circles there to begin. And make sure those forearms are firmly pushed into the earth so your chest is open. We're not slumping through the shoulders. Excellent. All right, now we hold and we add those flexes and point pulses. So it's a flex, pulse, pulse, and point, pulse, pulse. Flex, pulse, pulse, and point, pulse, pulse. A couple more times. And tap it down. Good. Come all the way onto your back again. Hug those knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice squeeze. Little circles with the hips, with the knees, like you're giving yourself a massage to your low back just by feeling more pressure through that area down into the ground. And then you can reverse the circles with your knees and hips just so you make sure that you're getting directions going in both ways. Roll to the side. And now we'll come up into a seated position. Beauty, you did it. Congratulations. Excellent, excellent work. And I will see you next time.